So I was a workaholic. Well, I still am. And I had a hobby of just going to the YMCA and trying to like get the tension out of my shoulders by trying to swim to the end of the 15-meter pool. I never actually made it, but one time I was there was this really hot blonde athlete chick, and I kind of overheard her talk. This guy talking to her, and she's like, yeah, how long is a mile swim for a triathlon? So I got in my head, I can do a triathlon. Me, beautiful, confident woman like that. So I thought I'd do a triathlon. And I started thinking, it can't be that hard. But I started telling more people. I started telling my brother-in-law, and finally got to the point where I was telling like coworkers, random people in the street, I was going to do a triathlon. So I had to learn to swim first, which is a little more difficult. I bought all the DVDs on swimming technique that you could buy, so if anyone wants to learn how to swim, you don't want to borrow them because it's not going to help. But I would go to the pool, and it was like 3 months in a row I would go to the pool and just try to learn how to swim. I was just out of breath all the time. But my brother-in-law wanted me to do a triathlon, so when I was up in New York City, he asked me how my triathlon training was going, and I had to be honest with him, it's not going very well. And he's telling me, well, my colleague Jill, she's doing this triathlon for this group called Team in Training. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. I get these purple things in the mail whenever raise money for leukemia, lymphoma. And he's like, she's doing her triathlon, and I'm like, how long she's been training? And she said, just 4 months. I'm like, what? You can't train for a triathlon in 4 months. But anyway, because of that, I signed up for the information meeting, and I was at the information meeting. I met this guy who was like, all right, just sign up, do it. And I think the whole thing is they pump you up, so you get so excited when they say how much money you have to raise, you're already committed. For the Chicago Triathlon, which you had to raise $3,800. I mean, I remember going to being a Boy Scout and going to people's doors and say, you don't want to buy a reef, do you? I was not a very good natural salesman, but I knew my secret weapon was I feel like I'm a good writer. So I wrote this beautiful letter or whatever, saying something like, how Kevin, people always say what's new, thinking that, like, is he dating? I'm like, well, I figured the perfect answer would be, I'm going to be doing a triathlon, Perfect coffee table topic. And I hand wrote addresses. I spent about like 250 letters. I sent them to my sister's ex-boyfriend. She's probably had like 15 of them. I sent them to every person we'll know. So 250, I was stretching it. But once I got started training, it's just painful because swimming's so hard. And once you start raising money, I mean, $100, $200, $300, you have to learn how to swim. You can't back out. They have this thing called recommitment where supposedly you can just back out and just lose the $400 deposit, but I wasn't going to back out. I mean, I said, I'm going to do a triathlon. So I did have the secret plan to raise more money, and it was just crazy because in a company, they have something called, usually in a charity, you have a 50-50 raffle, where 50% of the money goes to the winner and 50% goes to charity. Well, in a company, you really can't do that. And I wasn't about to go to a bar and ask people to enter a 50-50 raffle. So this crazy idea I got from the fundraising board was, you can't really give away a prize of cash value, but I figured I would raffle away which color I would dye my hair. I thought it was brilliant. Raise money and, dye hair, goes back to normal in a couple of days. Little I did raise the raffle. I sold like 400 tickets, all these people. I got positive press. They put me on the internet, and people wearing pink on the floor. I'm like, what the hell, pink? And the winning color is actually green. I picked this random woman, pick my fate. And I went down to House Productions on, I think, 18th and Chestnut. Great place if you want to get your hair dyed. They had to bleach my hair twice. I had no idea what bleaching hair, dyeing hair was before until I actually got it. But the real good story about good intentions, I ended up raising over $6,000. And they asked me to come back as a mentor. So I thought, the whole point of the mentor is, you have to get these people to raise their money, to reach their fundraising goals. So I sent out all these detailed things. So you got to handwrite letters, you got to do this, you got to follow up, you got to send emails, you got to send text messages. But the thing is, I had this mentee named Joyce, and she's like, I wanted to do something. She was like a party animal, but I just wanted to, get back a little. And she only raised like $100. Like, recommitment was coming up, the deadline. And it was like, should I tell Joyce to drop out nicely? And my mentee captains were like, no, let her go. And then like a couple weeks later, I got this Evite. Joyce is throwing a big team in training, like his bachelorette option. And it was at the Mandarin Brewery. So I figured I'd buy like bracelets, being the thoughtful mentor. So people who paid, I bought like 200 bracelets. the day the event comes, she had me at my door handing out bracelets. She ended up raising $7,000 that one day. Sold all the bracelets, so it comes down, good intentions is not what you tell people to do, it's what they actually do.